What to do, YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review Jeezy's I Am the Street Dream mixtape. Now, basically, this mixtape came out a month before Jeezy dropped his 2006 album, The Inspiration, which was a sequel to Thug Motivation 101. The Inspiration was Thug Motivation 102. And Jeezy had had a pretty hit mixtape run throughout 2005, 2004, and 2006 with mixtapes like Trap or Die and The Streets is Watching and Can't Ban the Snowman. But that was kind of a lot of that was just the initials of Jeezy's solo career and stuff after he kind of got separated from Boys in the Hood and a little bit before that and a little bit after. But this is really where Jeezy was kind of more in his inspiration era and cold summer era from late 2006 and early 2007. So it's an interesting mixtape. This is another Gangsta Grills, which means it was ran and produced, helped produced by DJ Drama. So Jeezy and DJ Drama team up again. They teamed up on Trap or Die and Can't Ban the Snowman. If you didn't know some of those are some other ones. Trap or Die was Jeezy's hit project that really broke him into the even. But yeah, I would have to say this is a pretty quality mixtape. I'm going to have to do some math here to explain this to you because there's a lot of different kind of things about this project that make it different, but it is a pretty rock solid release. I definitely feel like it's outstanding in a lot of ways. And once again, it's a shame that Dat Piff is going through problems because one of the songs I was trying to get off this project was kind of choppy, which is the song All I Need. The version of All I Need I got was only 1 minute, but that song is actually 3 minutes and 24 seconds. I listened to it on YouTube so I can still do the review of it, but it's just kind of that situation. These mixtapes are just really choppy right now. This is kind of the concept. But yeah, this is an excellent mixtape. Jeezy has some original songs. And unlike Trap or Die and Can't Ban the Snowman from the previous several months and years, like this particular mixtape has a lot of new songs on here. It has some songs that if you find the iTunes edition or the deluxe edition of The Inspiration, you can actually find those songs on there like National Anthem and I Do This. You can find both of those on this mixtape for free. So you don't have to buy the digital deluxe editions if you don't want. Now obviously the best song out of the deluxe edition from The Inspiration, Hood Rat, with 3-6 Mafia is not available on here. I think Jeezy realized that that's a real hot ticket, but the other two out of the three bonus songs on those deluxe editions are on this mixtape. So that's kind of the concept. Yeah, there's just a lot of quality on here. I feel like there are some songs that Jeezy, I mean, because this mixtape came out before the Inspiration album, there's several songs on here that wound up on the Inspiration album, and even one song that wound up on like the USDA Cold Summer album from the spring of 2007. So there's a lot of stuff that you can just find on albums, which this is a 22 song project, but minus the 3 interludes and kind of skits where they speak and stuff. There's really only 19 songs, but of those 19 songs, 7 of them are songs that you find on the Inspiration, and uh, 7 of those songs are the songs you find on the Inspiration and Cold Summer. So that really narrows it down to 12 new songs, some of which are instrumental freestyles. Like Slick Pola is on here, but barely. So he kind of takes care of the more mixtape cuts like Circa, Trap or Die, and Can't Ban the Snowman. Jeezy really does not rap. Jeezy really does not rap on like other people's instrumentals this time around. He kind of leaves that more to like his CTE click and that type stuff. So he's basically, by this stage, he's on the original instrumentals and trying to craft more songs to get more performable hits. And it's not like Slick Polo isn't capable of doing that because he was as well, but Jeezy just is not on any instrumentals where he freestyles and stuff like he was doing on Trap or Die and Can't Ban the Snowman. So yeah, there's 12 originals, or there's at least 12 songs on here that are not on any other project. And to kind of talk about some of those, I'll go ahead and list the songs that I recommend to you out of. So like I said, I'm just going to break down this math. I'm just going to break down this math for you because there's no real singles to this project. So out of 22 songs, 3 of them are interludes, which means that there's only 19 songs, and of the 19 remaining songs, 7 of them are to be found on other albums. And of those remaining 12 songs, 2 of those I did not enjoy, which is what I consider the true core of the project. I'm not going to detract from the score of the songs that are on other albums because some of those are pretty good, but I'm not going to up the score that much because of them, just because you can purchase them on the Inspiration and Cold Summer. So like the songs like Jeezy, Bury Me a G, I Love It, Top Back Remix, You Know What It Is, What It Is, some of those type songs. There's another one on here, Grew Up a Screw Up. You know, some of those are just songs that are already on other projects, so I'm not gonna. Those are just kind of extraneous. But of the 12 songs that are kind of exclusive to this project, I would say there's only 2 of them that I didn't enjoy, and those songs would be Let's Just Say and Who Got the Work. Now, of those 2 songs, Let's Just Say and Who Got the Work, Let's Just Say and Who Got the Work kind of had awkward kind of amalgamations of the song concepts that they were trying to do. It just didn't mesh that well compared to some of these other ones. They kind of felt kind of rugged, or they kind of felt like just rough around the edges and not quite as smooth and quite as consolidated as some of these other ones. But to talk about some of the hits I really did like I feel like I Got What It Takes probably has basically one of the best beats on here, and this could have passed as like a leftover cut from an actual album session. Just real haunting and has a great, yeah, this song is just real sparkling and haunting and really has like a great keyboard loop, or I don't know if it's piano, but just the keys on there are really kind of sparkling and haunting. And it's pretty similar to Don't Ever Do That. That's a pretty kind of glimmeringly dim one. I like that Jeezy. Like when I talked back in October of last year about how the beats and the production on the Inspiration from 2006 really had some glimmeringly haunting type feels. There's a lot of leftover cuts on here that kind of did that too. So Don't Ever Do That and I Got What It Takes did that. And then Keep It Moving was another one that kind of had some of those grim and kind of more dim, kind of haunting in a good way type feels towards it. I mean, these are trap cuts. It's not really like horrorcore, but these are just really haunting kind of productions on here. I felt like a real glimmering one was Spaceships on Bankhead, which is a pretty good one just because this one has a lot of bass in here. Definitely one for a vehicle cruising up the street so you can hear, so people can hear you cruising down the street thumping. And it has like Fabo from D4L, who's of the Laffy Taffy song fame. So I wasn't expecting that combination to really wind up. I always thought that Jeezy might have been too big for D4L, but I like the fact that Jeezy did do a song with Fabo, because that's a pretty good touch, because Fabo always had like these ground level and kind of more dance club ready cuts. So it's pretty awesome that they did a song together. That's a nice one. All I Need is a real pretty shrill kind of party song. I like the fact of Jeezy talking about all the mixed drinks. I like the fact that Jeezy talking about all the mixed drinks that he would have at his shindigs and parties that he goes to. It's probably the most centered party cut. I mean, most of the time Jeezy's not always doing party cuts, but this one kind of comes off as like a house party, kind of just like a block party, that type stuff. It's interesting kind of get Jeezy talking about that, because for the most part he usually makes club music more so than house party music. So it's actually pretty awesome that he made like a kind of house party, block party type song. I'm a G2 has a nice Slick Pulla, really tears this song apart in 211. Yeah, Slick Pulla and 211 really tear apart I'm a G2, which is basically just a remix of Clips's Mr. Me Too from 2006, produced by the Neptunes. So that's a real nice one. And there's another one that Slick Pulla did. I need to see that. Yeah, another mixtape kind of freestyle type cut that Slick Pulla did real well is Get Right, which is basically after a Cameron beat. This pretty swagged up kind of song. This real kind of thumping and kind of groovy, kind of synthy, kind of club type song. Definitely a nice one. I'm Telling You is a pretty kind of brazen street cut. I like this one just because it's a different. I'm Telling You kind of just feels like a more of like a comeback and retort kind of song. This more of like a mouthy and kind of brazen type song. I kind of like the approach towards that. Has just kind of like a more in your face production that's real nice. And Sing Along is a nice one. This was the bonus song National Anthem from the Inspiration, but you can actually find it for free on this mixtape. This one really feels like a pretty solid trap cut. This is one that gets me excited and motivated, kind of like Jeezy's I Love It from the Inspiration. Both are pretty like morning and kind of mid-afternoon kind of hustle songs, just about getting you some pumped up energy and make you want to go have breakfast and brunch and just go hustle and that type of stuff. I definitely like National Anthem. It's a nice one. And then I Do This. This is kind of a song I'm on the fence about. So this is one out of the 10 songs out of 12 that I liked. That was an almost song. So I actually like 9 songs out of 12 that are original songs, but this one's kind of an almost song. So I Do This. I really wish I liked the beat a lot more. This has kind of like a plotting and kind of just generic kind of beats, really not that outstanding. I mean, Don Cannon usually drops better beats than this, but I do feel like I like it enough just because I like it enough just because I like what Jeezy says in the song. So it's pretty interesting just because he has some good lyrics in there. And it just really comes off as like another hustle song, but it just is really just a straightforward, just I don't want to say completely generic, but just straightforward and kind of factory made, kind of hustle type song and that type stuff. So I Do This is a pretty factory made hustle song. So I feel like I Do This and Sing Along are both some hustle songs, and Keep It Moving's a real nice kind of haunting song. There's just a bunch of these on here. You got these haunting songs, you got these hustle songs, you got these good mixtape songs, and you've got these haunting kind of party songs, you've got these hustle songs, you've got some car cruising up the street songs, and you've got like some mixtape songs. There's a good amalgamation of kind of stuff to kind of go along with that makes this a pretty charming ride. And there's just a lot of fun moments on here. The fact that it's free really contributes to the fact that just wanting this to be a worthwhile kind of purchase and stuff. So I definitely recommend it. And so I'm going to go ahead and score this now. Me liking basically 10 out of 12 songs, getting 10 songs out of 19 and then adding like another 5 or 6 really makes. So I like Bury Me a G, Grew Up a Screw Up, I Love It, Jeezy, Top Back Remix. So that's about 5 out of 7. So, adding 15 out of 19 songs, that's really saying something. So I just would have to say, I'm just going to go ahead and give this album like an 8.25 out of 10 because I feel like that's pretty damn solid. I think about the only real detracted weakness from it is just the fact that I feel like the only real detracted weakness from this project is there may be a handful too many songs that showed up on albums later. Like there's plenty of songs that are from the inspiration that are on this mixtape, and then there's even a song from Cold Summer from 2007 that's on here. So really, it's just kind of I probably would have liked I probably would have liked the mixtape to have been packed with a few more gems that were exclusive to this project because it's a good mixtape and it definitely has quality in the hits. This is some quality prime form Jeezy, but it just doesn't have enough exclusives. I definitely would have liked more songs like Spaceships on Bankhead, All I Need, and like Sing Along, National Anthem, and kind of like I Got What It Takes in some of those because I feel like the concept behind Jeezy from the inspiration era is really charming just because that was kind of when he was at like his chart potential. Like the recession definitely charted, but it only had like 1 or 2 hits compared to like the inspiration. Every single almost that Jeezy dropped around that time was charting real well. I mean, he had Go Getta, he had I Love It. Maybe Dreamin' didn't do that well, but he did have a lot of hits from that time period, and it was just kind of. I mean, for what I got, I'm proud of what I got on here, but I probably would have liked at least 2, 3, or even 4 more 2006, late 2006 era Jeezy cuts that would have helped put the icing on the cake a little bit more. But for the most part, 8.25 is pretty damn good. I feel like that's quality enough. It's because there is a good assortment of like 2006 Jeezy on here. The social score, I'm going to give like a 7 out of 10 just for that same concept, just because I'm going to give the social score a 7 out of 10 because there's almost 10 songs that are either other people's songs or can be found on actual albums, which detracts from the impact somewhat, but it definitely is quality. It's great for stepping out. There's definitely some weekend feels on here, just like Can't Ban the Snowman and Trap or Die, Inspiration, a lot of other Jeezy stuff. It's just kind of the concept that you may just kind of feel like it has less bite because you're not getting more bang for your buck, even though you're not paying anything for it. But it's just kind of the concept. There's just not enough cuts on here that are like exclusive. That's the biggest complaint about this project is it just needed more exclusives. That's kind of the concept about it. So 7 social. In terms of the future, like Jeezy, I forget he dropped like Snowfall, the mixtape with DJ Drama. He did another mixtape with DJ Drama back in October of 2022. So that's pretty interesting about that. We're going to get to those and some of those type things. But this is definitely worth checking out. I just think it may leave a few extra folks hungry just because it's a good taste of Jeezy. This is prime form Jeezy, but it just does not have, it's not a full, it's not a gourmet meal, I guess we could say.